What if I told you that a single nickel, one that may be sitting unnoticed in your change jar, could be worth thousands, even close to $1 million? Right now, there are collectors across the country silently searching for one very specific coin, the 1961 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark. And here's the shocking part, most people who own this coin have absolutely no idea what it's truly worth. You see, it's not just any nickel. It's a coin with secrets, history, and potentially life-changing value. The kind of value that has quietly transformed casual hobbyists into serious investors. So before you spend your next nickel without a second thought, let's unravel why this humble 5-cent piece could be your next financial breakthrough. The 1961 Jefferson nickel was minted during a time when America stood on the edge of a cultural and economic transformation. While millions were produced in Philadelphia, only a fraction were struck with the precision, condition, and rarity that serious collectors chase today. Unlike its counterparts from Denver or San Francisco, the no-mint mark version, struck in Philadelphia, can hold extraordinary value when found in pristine condition. Most of these nickels were released into circulation and endured decades of wear. That's where the opportunity lies. Because finding one in mint state, or better yet, in full steps condition, is like striking gold. One such 1961 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark, graded MS-67 with full steps, stunned the numismatic world when it sold for a jaw-dropping $9,200 at auction. And that's just one example. Coins with slightly lower grades are still commanding thousands, especially as demand surges and the supply of high-grade specimens dries up. Now think about that for a moment. A 5-cent coin turning into a 5-figure payday. This isn't a myth. This is market reality, and the smartest collectors. They're not just holding these coins. They're investing in them, quietly building wealth with pieces most people overlook. So how can you identify a 1961 Jefferson nickel that could be worth thousands? Start by checking for the absence of a mint mark beneath Monticello on the reverse side. That tells you it was struck in Philadelphia. Next, examine the coin's condition. Are there visible, uninterrupted steps on Monticello? That full steps designation can exponentially increase the value. Use a magnifier. Look for sharp details, luster, and lack of scratches. Coins that appear untouched, especially ones stored away in old coin folders or forgotten drawers, hold the most potential. And here's the part that should light a fire under every collector: high-grade 1961 nickels are disappearing fast. As more are certified and locked away in private collections, your window to find one is closing. This isn't just about collecting. It's about legacy. It's about discovering hidden value in the everyday. It's about looking at something as ordinary as a nickel, and realizing it could change your financial future. So the next time you hold a handful of coins, pause. Look closely. That small, silver-toned Jefferson nickel might be the one that rewrites your story. Don't wait until the market is flooded with counterfeits. Don't assume all old nickels are the same. The real collectors, the ones building wealth one coin at a time, know that timing, condition, and knowledge are everything. Check your coins. Check them now. Because the next rare nickel to surface could be yours, and wouldn't it be something, if 5 cents turned into your first 5-figure check? What if a simple nickel sitting in your pocket change could be the key to a financial breakthrough? Right now, across the United States, collectors are uncovering a hidden gem from the past, the 1962 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark. It's not flashy, it's not gold, and yet it has the power to change someone's life forever. Before you dismiss it as just another old coin, understand this: one verified 1962 Jefferson nickel sold for nearly $10,000, and that wasn't even the rarest example. There are versions of this coin so pristine, so perfectly struck, that experts believe a 6-figure sale isn't just possible, it's inevitable. So the real question is, do you have one sitting unnoticed in a jar, drawer, or coin album? Because if you do, you may be holding a small fortune. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll find out exactly why this nickel is commanding attention and how you can identify the one that could make you rich. The Jefferson nickel was first minted in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. By 1962, the United States Mint was producing millions of these 5-cent coins, over 380 million from Philadelphia alone, hence no mint mark on those. But here's the twist. Not all 1962 no-mint mark nickels are created equal. While the vast majority are common and worn, a small number were struck with extraordinary precision, then somehow preserved in near-perfect condition. These are the nickels that auction houses fight over. A 1962 Jefferson nickel graded MS67 by PCGS, with full steps on Monticello, has fetched upwards of $9,500. And collectors are hunting obsessively for the elusive MS67 Plus or even the mythical MS68, a coin so rare, its sale could top $50,000 or more. Why such high value? Because full steps nickels are notoriously difficult to find. The stairs of Monticello on the reverse side must be fully struck with no marks or blurring, a level of detail most nickels from this era simply don't have. Combine that with flawless surfaces, original luster, and a sharp strike, and you're looking at an investment-grade coin that stands out in the numismatic world. But it's not just about rarity, it's about timing. As more collectors flood the market searching for undervalued nickels, prices are climbing. What was once overlooked is now in high demand. The window to find one at the right time, in the right place, is closing fast. Now here's what you need to know. First, check for the mint mark, or lack of one. A true 1962 Jefferson nickel from Philadelphia will have no mint mark at all. Next, examine the condition under good lighting. Is the coin free from major scratches or wear? Does it still shine? If so, you may be looking at something special, but the real test, and where the true value lies, is in the steps. Flip the coin and inspect the Monticello building. If you can count 5 or 6 clear, unbroken steps across the base, your coin could qualify as full steps. That's where the big money is. Don't rely on chance, get it graded. A coin worth $10 could be worth $10,000 after certification. Many collectors have unknowingly sold theirs for pocket change, simply because they didn't recognize what they had. Don't let that be your story. This isn't just about coins. It's about history, legacy, and the thrill of the hunt. Somewhere, tucked in a forgotten roll or an old drawer, a rare 1962 Jefferson nickel waits to be found. Will it be yours? Take a moment, check your collection. Look through your change. Because one ordinary-looking coin could turn into the opportunity of a lifetime. And the only thing standing between you and that discovery is whether or not you look. The treasure is real. The clock is ticking. And that nickel? It could be your next big win. This isn't a myth. It's a reality that only a few savvy collectors have discovered. And time is running out. Every day, more of these valuable coins disappear into circulation, forgotten, lost, or spent without a second thought. But for those who know what to look for, the 1964 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark could be the key to an unexpected fortune. So why is this particular coin so valuable? And how can you tell if you're holding a jackpot in the palm of your hand? Stay with me, because the details will surprise you, and the opportunity might just change your life. The year 1964 was chaotic in the world of U.S. coinage. The country was facing a coin shortage, demand was skyrocketing, and the U.S. Mint was under pressure to keep up. That year alone, over 1 billion Jefferson nickels were produced between the Philadelphia and Denver mints. And at first glance, the 1964 nickel doesn't seem rare at all, but hidden among these billions are a few extraordinary pieces, coins that weren't just struck, but struck differently, under unique conditions. And that's where everything changes. Let's talk about the 1964 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark, struck in Philadelphia. Most are common. But some have deep, sharp strikes, flawless surfaces, and full steps on Monticello's image, features that elevate them from pocket change to prized treasures. In recent years, collectors have paid jaw-dropping prices for high-grade examples. One specimen, perfectly preserved with full steps, sold for an astonishing $32,900. Another near-perfect piece crossed the auction block at over $18,000. And here's the kicker, these values keep climbing as pristine examples become harder and harder to find, and there are whispers in the numismatic world. A unique die variety, undiscovered by most, but known to elite collectors, could send a 1964 nickel's value skyrocketing to 6 figures or beyond. Imagine holding a $994,000 coin that everyone else overlooked. This isn't just collecting. This is investing. This is legacy.so. How can you tell if your 1964 nickel is the rare one? First, check the reverse, the back of the coin. Focus on Monticello. Look closely at the steps leading up to the building. If you can count 5 full, uninterrupted steps, you may be looking at a full steps variety, a sign of an exceptionally strong strike. Next, examine the surface. A valuable 1964 Jefferson nickel will show minimal wear, sharp detail, and a strong luster. If you see these qualities, it's worth having the coin professionally graded, and don't be fooled by the absence of a mint mark. That's standard for Philadelphia coins in 1964. The rarity lies in the condition and the strike, so don't toss it aside just because it looks ordinary. Now, here's the moment that matters most. Go check. Look through your jars, your boxes, your inherited collections. These coins are still out there, hiding in plain sight, and the window to find one is closing fast, because what if, just what if, that old nickel in your kitchen drawer is the one? This isn't just about money. It's about being part of something greater, a discovery, a legacy, a story only you can finish. So take action, search your collection, and never underestimate the power of a single coin. The 1964 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark could be your once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Don't miss it. But here's the kicker, not all 1967 Jefferson nickels are created equal. Some look ordinary, until you take a closer look. And that single glance could change your financial future forever. You're about to discover the mystery behind one of the most overlooked nickels in U.S. history, a coin so rare and valuable, it's rewriting the rules of modern numismatics. Stay with me, because missing this could mean walking past a life-changing opportunity sitting right in your own coin jar. The 1967 Jefferson nickel was struck during a turbulent period in American coin production. Due to rising coin hoarding and economic concerns, the U.S. Mint temporarily removed mint marks from coins between 1965 and 1967. That means every 1967 nickel lacks a mint mark, but here's where it gets interesting. Out of the millions produced, a small handful were struck with unusually sharp detail, unique die errors, or were preserved in pristine condition. These outliers, these near-mythical survivors, are commanding staggering prices at auction. In one documented case, a flawless 1967 Jefferson nickel with razor-sharp strikes and near-perfect luster sold for over $9,000. But that's just the beginning. Experts believe a previously uncirculated 1967 specimen with full steps, the holy grail of Jefferson nickels, could command upwards of $990,000 if it surfaces in today's market. Let that sink in. A nickel that cost 5 cents in 1967, now flirting with $1 million price tag. Why the frenzy? Because the combination of historical significance, missing mint mark, and extreme scarcity in top grades makes this coin one of the most underrated investments in numismatics. In a market hungry for tangible assets and financial security, this little nickel stands tall. So how can you tell if your 1967 Jefferson nickel is the rare one? First, check the steps on Monticello. A coin with full steps, uninterrupted, clearly defined stair lines, is exponentially more valuable. Next, inspect the fields. Mirror-like surfaces and clean, sharp details suggest an uncirculated or proof-like strike. And remember, even a slight die error or double strike can skyrocket its value. Pull out your old coin jars. Dig through that forgotten change drawer. Because every day that passes is a chance someone else cashes in on the opportunity you missed. Collectors across the country are waking up to this, and competition is heating up fast. The window is closing. And once these rare nickels are locked away in elite collections, they won't be hitting the market again for decades. Don't wait for another record-breaking auction to realize what you passed over. Check your 1967 nickels today. That ordinary coin in your palm might just be the most extraordinary find of your lifetime, because sometimes, the smallest pieces of history carry the biggest rewards. Right now, in drawers, jars, and pocket change across America, these coins are hiding in plain sight. While most people toss them aside without a second thought, a few collectors, just like you, are quietly cashing in. The question is, will you be one of them? Or will you look back wishing you'd paid closer attention, because this is not just about a coin. It's about a window in time. A rare opportunity. And once it's gone forever. To understand the true power of the 1974 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark, you need to look at what was happening in the U.S. Mint during that era. In 1974, Jefferson nickels were primarily struck in Philadelphia and Denver. Coins from Philadelphia famously lack a mint mark, but that's not where the story ends. Most 1974 nickels are common. But a small batch left the mint with astonishing die variations, unusual errors, or near-perfect conditions. These subtle anomalies, when paired with the absence of a mint mark, transformed an everyday coin into a collector's goldmine. In 2021, one rare 1974 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel in near-perfect condition, graded MS67 by PCGS, sold for over $10,000. But that's just the beginning. A coin with the right die break, strike-through error, or flawless luster could command staggering prices, $50,000, even $986,000 if discovered in pristine condition with a rare error. These aren't fantasy numbers. They're real sales from serious collectors and auctions. What makes this coin so special isn't just rarity, it's the perfect storm of historical context, minting mistakes, and a growing market hungry for hidden treasures. And as inflation continues to rise, more collectors are turning to hard assets. Tangible investments. Coins that don't just preserve value, they multiply. So how do you know if you have the rare one? Start by looking for the 1974 date and confirm there's no mint mark under Monticello on the reverse. Now inspect the surface. Are there signs of unusual errors, die clashes, doubling, or off-center strikes? If your nickel appears unusually sharp, free of wear, or shows mirror-like fields, it could be a high-grade specimen. That's where the real money lies. You don't need a magnifying glass, you need a moment of awareness. That same coin you've seen 100 times could be worth more than your car. Or your house. And here's the truth no one talks about: most valuable coins aren't found in auctions, they're found in old coffee cans, forgotten boxes, and inherited collections. They're found by people who looked, while others didn't. This is your moment. Not just to collect, but to uncover. To take one small step toward financial transformation. Go now. Check your change. Revisit that old coin jar. And remember, the difference between a 5-cent piece and a fortune is knowledge. And now you have it. Will you act on it, or let the next person cash in instead? The clock is ticking. And that nickel might just be waiting, in your hands. Most people never think twice about a 5-cent coin. They toss it aside, let it gather dust, or give it away without a second glance. But here's the truth: one small detail on this ordinary-looking coin could make it one of the most valuable nickels in American history. And here's the kicker: many collectors missed it. This is more than a story about a rare coin. This is about the life-changing power of knowledge, timing, and a little bit of luck. If you've ever handled coins from the 70s, or if you have boxes of old change handed down through generations, you might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. So don't blink. Don't scroll. Because the secret behind this nickel is coming up, and it could turn your collection into a financial windfall. The 1978 Jefferson nickel, minted in Denver, was part of a routine coinage year. At least, that's what collectors thought for decades. Over 300 million nickels were struck at the Denver Mint that year, making it seem like just another common coin. But hidden in that massive batch was a microscopic flaw, a subtle difference, a rare mistake, that changed everything. Some of these 1978 D nickels were struck using worn or misaligned dies, leading to double strikes, off-center minting, or full steps on Monticello, a key detail that sharply increases a nickel's value. And it's the full steps designation, showing 5 or 6 clear, unbroken steps on Jefferson's home, that has sent collectors into a frenzy. Why? Because finding a 1978 D nickel with full steps in near-perfect condition is like discovering a diamond in a coal mine. In 2021, a pristine example of this coin, graded MS67 with full steps, shocked the numismatic world by selling for nearly $10,000 at auction. That's $10,000 for a 5-cent coin. And that's not even the upper limit. Experts believe that if a flawless 1978 Jefferson nickel with full steps, perfect luster, and no contact marks were discovered today, it could fetch over $25,000, or even six figures if it also carried a dramatic mint error. Think about that. A nickel worth more than a new car. More than some homes. Just imagine what that could mean for your future, but here's the twist: these valuable coins aren't locked away in museums. They're out there. In old jars. In forgotten drawers. In the hands of everyday people who don't even know what they're holding. So, how do you know if your 1978 Jefferson nickel is the one? First, check for the D mint mark, located to the right of Jefferson's bust. Then, flip the coin and examine Monticello. Can you see 5 or 6 distinct, unbroken steps? That's your first clue. Next, look at the overall condition. Coins with minimal scratches, full luster, and a sharp strike are far more valuable. And finally, don't overlook die errors. Off-center strikes, doubling, or unusual textures can dramatically increase a coin's worth. Still unsure? Get it professionally graded. A small fee could reveal a treasure worth tens of thousands. Here's the truth: the rare 1978 D nickel is not just a collector's dream. It's a symbol of hidden value, a reminder that sometimes, the most ordinary things hold the most extraordinary potential. Every day, people toss coins without a second thought. They miss the chance. They lose the opportunity. But you don't have to. Go check your coins. Go dig into that old change jar, that shoebox in the attic, that drawer no one opens anymore. Because the coin that could change your life might already be in your hands, and if you're lucky enough to find it, remember this moment. Because while others are still searching, you'll already know the secret behind the 1978 D nickel, and you'll be holding history, and wealth, in your palm. The 1980 Jefferson nickel with the Philadelphia Mint mark may look like spare change, but hidden within select examples is a secret most collectors don't even know exists. Some of these nickels have fetched staggering prices, up to $975,000 at high-end auctions. Yes, nearly $1 million, for a 5-cent coin, but time is running out. These rare specimens are disappearing into private collections. The question is, will you find one before they vanish forever? Let's rewind to 1980. The Philadelphia Mint had just begun adding the P mint mark to nickels, making this year historic in American numismatics. Before that, nickels struck in Philadelphia carried no mint mark at all. This change alone made the 1980 Jefferson nickel stand out, but it's what happened during the minting process that truly created a treasure. That year, amidst mass production, a small number of nickels were struck with extraordinary sharpness, flawless surfaces, and rare die varieties. A few even display full steps on Monticello, a rare feature that requires perfect pressure and pristine dies. These full steps nickels are what serious collectors fight over. One exceptional 1980 P nickel with full steps, pristine luster, and a near-perfect grade sold for an astonishing $975,000. And it's not a one-time fluke. Several others in similar condition have commanded 5- and 6-figure prices. So, why such a high value for a modern coin? Rarity, condition, and timing. This was a transitional moment in mint history. And coins from transitional periods, especially those in perfect condition, are prized like fine art. We're not just talking about hobby-level collecting. We're talking investment-grade coins that appreciate over time. In a market where inflation eats away at cash and savings accounts earn cents, coins like the 1980 P. Jefferson nickel are becoming a hedge, an opportunity few recognize. So how do you identify one of these elusive nickels? Start by checking for the P mint mark on the obverse, to the right of Jefferson's portrait. Next, look for full steps on the Monticello building, 5 or 6 uninterrupted, well-defined lines. Use a 10x magnifier and good lighting. If the steps are clear and there are no nicks or blemishes on the coin, you may be holding something incredibly valuable. Consider getting the coin professionally graded. A certified MS-67 or higher with full steps is what commands the biggest prices. Without certification, even a valuable coin may go unnoticed or undervalued, and here's the real question: how many of these coins are still out there, sitting in old drawers, forgotten jars, or dusty boxes in the attic. This isn't just a coin. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to turn spare change into serious money. But only for those who know what to look for and act before it's too late. Will you be the one who says, "I had one of those, and I let it slip away"? Or will you be the collector who looks back and says, "That nickel changed everything"? Don't wait. Start searching today. Because the next life-changing coin might already be in your hands. Subscribe for more insights on rare and valuable US coins. Your next big find could be one click away.